Greetings, I'm Mark with Unlimited Story, unlimited-story.com, a channel dedicated to writing, world building, marketing, and most importantly, getting things done. And mostly Kindle Vella, because that's what I do, and that's what's working for me, and I feel like that's an alright thing to do. So, if you want to support this channel and the things that I do, just check out my stories on Kindle or Kindle Vella. Links are in the description below, and as you've probably noticed, yes, I am not wearing an Unlimited Story shirt. I'm wearing this cool one from the author that I'll be reviewing today, Bridges Stevenson. It's got bards and D&D, so how could I not like that? I just feel inclined. And if you're thinking to yourself, Mark, I can pay you off with sweet swag, well, I tell you this, go ahead and try. I would thoroughly enjoy that. So yes, please go ahead, try. Send some stuff over. Anyway, in this video, I'm going to be reviewing Apocalypse, The Reapings by Bridges Stevenson. And here's the description. Hudson, an American elite operator who was declared dead in Southeast Asia, reunites with his now teenage daughter nearly a decade later. Now that he's made it back to America, his fight really begins. Magicians with vampiric tendencies rule the world through tyranny and fear. Keeping people in cities like cattle, getting his daughter out of the city will be harder than his journey home. What are our tags? Post-apocalyptic, beast, magic, resistance, action, dystopian, modern fantasy. And what's this image? I'm assuming that's Hudson and his daughter and whoever that guy is in the background looking all mysterious. I'm sure he's some type of magi or vampire. Maybe he's both. Who knows? So let's see what this is all about. I have just finished reading the first 3 of Apocalypse, The Reapings, and it'd be dark. It gives me like a Spawn vibe, which is great. I do like Spawn. Spawn was one of my favorite comics growing up, and I like it because they're bad guys with no redeeming qualities that I can't wait to die. So it's basically one of those things where I'm like, they dead yet? They dead yet? Are they dead yet? Because I would like some of these bad guys to be dead. In fact, I want them all dead. I would love for this main character to just cap them all. That would make me very happy. So let's get started. Main character, his name is Hudson. He is a soldier and he's getting back to his daughter. He is introduced basically in a way where he walks into a trap. Well, it's not like he walks into a trap. There is a trap and he realizes it's a trap. And then not only does he realize it's a trap because he's pretty smart, he also is basically like sympathetic to the lady who set the trap. So he gives her a gun and is like, maybe I'll be back later. So I'm expecting her to make an appearance again in the story. After that, they get to this bridge where there's this like culty thing happening, and this culty thing involves these vampire mage people. Samar is one of them. The other one's called Hood. All right, they have some Jedi mind powers. They throw a kid off a bridge because he wasn't good enough. This probably has to do with the reaping, which I don't fully understand, and I'll try to explain a little bit down the road. They do a Jedi mind trick. This guy hangs himself, just and then jumps off the bridge. All right, so that's the whole encounter, more or less. So Hudson goes into town, caps a few people, gets back to his daughter. His daughter comes out of the house all knife-wielding style, and he's like, so what's up with that? And she's like, so there's this guy who's basically trying to, like, charge me rent, but I already own this house because Mom gave it to me before she died. And he's like, well, I'll just take care of him. So transition over to Beck. So Beck is at his little strip club place, and he hands over one of his strippers or something like that to one of the vampire people. They're not really vampires, but they're mage people, and they drink blood, which you'll see because Becca's like, yo, drink some blood. And then she does. So I don't really know the purpose of that. That's not really explained yet. And they take the stripper away, yada, yada. Okay, moving on. We're just cruising along. So that was episode number 1. Episode number 2 is the introduction of 2 other characters. So they start out because they're hooking up. They're a husband and wife. I don't really know how to pronounce this, the wife's name, Shiloh, but I'll call her Shill for short. And she has some military experience. She seems to be pretty capable with a gun, as we're seeing in a bit. And there's her husband, Sky, also known as Proto. There's also TESS, which is their AI system, which is the reason they are living a pretty decent life. Like, they have hot water. Yeah, that's a good thing. That's a good sign, right? So Hudson and Rachel come and see them. They've been basically taking care of Rachel since her mom died, probably a little bit longer. And so they're on good terms, and they meet Hudson and they start talking about how they can overthrow things. They're pretty resistant initially, But, the wife, she seems to be kind of, I'm pretty sure there's a relationship between her and Hudson that hasn't been discussed, but it's like lightly hinted at. Okay, so then they discuss the reaping. So here's my understanding. These magicians, the high level spellcasters, are created when two people with magic powers have a child. Okay. Then there's like a tier below them. There's a distort and a siren, and those are caused by one normal person and one magic person having a kid. But now what's causing an issue is normal people are hooking up and they're having these distorts and sirens. So I'm pretty sure what happened is that really upset the super magi people, because now they're worried like, hey, we might have magic people all over the world, and they kind of controlled the world before and they were preventing people from having kids. That's my guess. Okay. That is my understanding. There's also a mechanic that basically says the firstborn can never be a magic. So that if you have two kids. So my understanding of this whole reaping thing is they're trying to control populations, like control who's having kids and so on and so forth. Okay, so now that I got that cleared out, we're moving on to episode number 3, where we meet Raziel. So Raziel, which I may be pronouncing that wrong, but that's what I'm going with. He is a pit fighter. He is a distort, and he just basically cleans up all the time. He's making money because he works in the pits for Hood, probably Samar too, but Hood, because that's who he talks with. There's also a guy named Elwood who used to be like this great freedom fighter person, but now he's a pit fighter, and he's kind of a little weird now, I guess. So anyway, there's an exchange. Hood has the prostitute that Samar got from Beck, and he's like makes her crawl around. It's really degrading and stuff. And he's like, take her home, but make sure she crawls the whole way. So after Hood leaves, Raziel's like, stand up. We're getting you out of here. So they basically leave. Long story short, there is an interaction where the prostitute, I shouldn't call her prostitute, she's just a stripper, but I'm pretty sure they're trying to use her for prostitution because they're trying to do this whole reaping thing that I don't fully understand. Whatever the case, getting back on track. So her name is Zoe and Raziel, and they meet up with Hudson and Rachel in the street, and basically it's a pretty good interaction because this distort guy, Raziel is actually pretty good. Like he hates the magicians because they treat him like dirt anyway, and they treat everyone like dirt. So most people hate them to begin with. Essentially, they have a good interaction, which leads you to believe like maybe they're going to team up down the road. But either way, for a fact Hudson, Rachel, Chill, and Sky are trying to bring down the vampire drone network, and that's basically where we're left off. Yeah. So my one sentence summary of all this is everyone hates the vampires, including me. Please kill them. That is not what the story is about, but that is what I'm going with for my one sentence summary. And that's about it. If you like this kind of stuff, consider subscribing or at least watching another one of my videos that YouTube recommends. If you want to have your story reviewed, hit me up on the Discord info in the description below. Peace.